In the beginning of Parashat Vayera, we find that Abraham Avinu is sitting at the front of his ohel, of his tent, waiting for guests, even though it was a hot day, even though it was right after the Brit Milah, and he was in pain. He very much wanted to do chesed. Abraham Avinu is known for his chesed, his kindness, his amud chesed, and it is seen in many, many things that he did for others. One of the greatest chasadim that a person can do is to be mekarev others with tshuva. Is to go out of your way to make great efforts to convince people. For what? For their benefit. You're not benefiting from this. Is it right? You don't. What enjoyment do you have? Other people doing tshuva, but helping them come to their realization, sheyesh borei la'olam, that is a tremendous chesed. So Abraham Avinu was involved in many types of chasadim. Where did he know that this is important to do? How did he know chesed? Some people by nature are kind. But as we will see, chesed of Abraham Avinu is not just plain kindness, sheyesh lo bateva shelo, by nature. It is much more than that. Abraham Avinu noticed, by observing the creation, and he saw that one of the midot of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is chesed. Everything HaKadosh Baruch Hu does with the Bri'ah, the Yitzurim, with the creation, is chesed. He provides, he feeds, he does everything. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu is chesed, and Abraham Avinu adopted this midah to do chesed unto other people as well. But this chesed is a unique type of chesed, and that is what Abraham Avinu is known for. Not because it's in his nature, but because it's the correct thing to do. How do we know if somebody does something by nature, or if he does it because it's a mitzvah and the correct thing to do? If somebody does it when it's difficult for him to do. Because true chesed, true kindness is that you're willing to help someone even if it's difficult for you, even if you don't like the person so much. That is chesed. Some people have a good heart, brachamim, they're compassionate. You can't see somebody struggling, somebody having a heart. Is that chesed? Of course it's chesed. They still get credit for it. It's still a mitzvah. But true chesed is when you're doing because if you believe that this is the right thing to do. Hashem tziva kacha. Shlosha dvarim ha'olam omed, ala Torah, ala avodah, v'gilut chasadim. This is one of the three pillars that the world stands on. That there should be interaction between people. One should help another. So how is it measured? It's measured when somebody helps another one. It's difficult. So if you're going to be helping someone when it's difficult for you, when it's a hot day, like Abraham Avinu, right after the Brit Milah, and he still is looking for guests, that is siman chesed. Otherwise, a person can have a good heart. Yeah, otherwise a person can have a good heart. That's not indicative. It's lo mochiach that he's a bar chesed. It could be that he does chesed by nature. The true test is when somebody does something when it's difficult for him. Then he's demonstrating, he's showing, he's proving that he believes in this, or that Hashem has told him to do something. One who does chesed Hashem shamayim, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu mezakeh oto. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bring him opportunities, good opportunities and worthy opportunities. His daniyot tovot, that he should be able to do chesed. Because one of the worst things, the Gemara talks about it, is when a person ends up giving his money to people who don't need it. It's a form of kilalah. In other words, you spend your money in helping people who really don't need help. They're cheaters. They tell you they need it. And manashim lo meuganim. No, right. I tell you to always give because we don't know. I'd rather be guilty of giving somebody that does not need instead of not giving somebody that really needs it. So if I have to make a decision, I'd rather make the decision on the safe side. Most likely it doesn't. And the truth is that the majority of people sheposhtim tayad tzrichim. If your person is willing to go through the bushot, to stretch it out, the majority of them need it. I'm not talking about the ones in the street. I'm talking about people that come knocking your door for a second.
A guy comes to the house. He said, I'm not collecting from you. Baruch Hashem, I got all my kids married.
Right.
I have 11, all married, all have their own homes. I'm collecting now for my grandchildren. Why should everybody have a home? Why should everybody buy an apartment?
Well, it depends. It's hard to rent in Israel. It's easier to settle them down, and not to have the headache later of having to pay the rent.
People, they cannot afford, they don't go like this.
Right, but remember something. All he's asking is that we lend him a hand. He's not asking us to pay for the whole house.
No,
and small change makes big change. He gets $10 here, $5. Eventually, it will help. It's all a help.
I agree.
So why not help?
All his life,
Yeah.
We give. Everything he has was through tzedakah. He did it all his life for himself and his kid. Now he's going for his grandchildren.
Yeah. It's not the best. It's not the best way to do it. Of course, to depend on people and to ask people what to vote.
Like a part of this.
Right, but sometimes, as you know, the situation in Israel is such that people can't afford.
People are not like Mishalach.
Yeah.
They know.
You're right.
They come and they stand in front of you and you're praying,
Yeah.
and they stand and you tell him, look, you need minyan, can you stay to me? He say no. Huh?
Anyway.
I don't judge people, but I get upset. You are 9 and the guy comes in. We give you some money. No, I have to cover it. I have to go to our.
So anyway, when a person does mitzvot L'Shem Shamayim, he shows to Kadosh Baruch Hu that he wants to give tzedakah and mitzvot chesed. Kadosh Baruch Hu mazmin lo anashim agunim, people that really need it, proper people, not cheaters and so forth. So a person has to be zocheh to that his tzedakah goes to a good cause. Same thing with chesed. A person who does chesed L'Shem Shamayim for his true sake, not because it's in his nature, because that's the mitzvah. Kadosh Baruch Hu mezakeh that he should be able to help people who truly need it. Anyway, this is. Huh? Yeah, of course. Yeah, the Ilum Shem is better when people do not know that it's coming from you. You're saving them the embarrassment. So that's why it's a high level. Yeah.
I only give and I only owe to all this kindness, so they do to my kids.
Yeah.
That one day
Sure.
it's done to you.
Sure. Yeah. Anyway, the end of days, Acharit Hayamim, the generation that we're living in, will be known for Chesed. That is what we say in the Amidah. Magen Avraham. We don't say Magen Yitzchak, Magen Yaakov. Why Magen Avraham? B'zchut HaChesed chotmim et HaGalut. B'zchutcha chotmim. In other words, b'zchut Avraham of Chesed, that is how the Galut will finish. And that is why today Baruch Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu has enabled us to do a lot of tzedakah and chesed more than any other generation. The standard of living has risen. Tremendous, sure. In order for us to be able to do chesed, to help out the institutions, to rebuild the yeshivot that were destroyed in Europe, in Eretz Israel, in America, to do a tremendous amount of tzedakah and chesed to all the ones who are poor and struggling in Israel. And this will be a zechut for Am Yisrael before Mashiach comes. Let me tell you a story that from this story you will understand what chesed is. What true chesed is, Hashem Shamayim. There was a couple, in the olden days there was no cars, there was wagons. What happened when the wheel of a wagon broke? It would be a problem, right? It would take a long time to fix, and people to blacksmith, who knows?
Mud, rain.
Yeah. Anyway, so this couple, they were on their way somewhere, and their agala broke down, and it was Erev Shabbat. And they didn't really want to stay anywhere because they didn't want to, spend extra money. They wanted to go home. They wanted to go on their way. But here they had no choice. They didn't want to ask favors either. They were very shy people. But they had no choice. Erev Shabbat, what do? So they went to an inn. It said, this place is an inn. And they asked the Balabai, the owner, can we stay over for Shabbat? And they ask him, well, how much is it? And he tells them $100. Let's assume, he tells them a nice amount. It wasn't cheap. So they told him, it's a little expensive, but he says, listen, but for the $100, you can eat as much as you want. Oh, really? Okay, then it's worth it. At least we'll have a good time. Good Shabbat. At least we'll have a good time. Yeah, sure. Okay. They had beautiful time. They had very good food, tasty food. Friday night, Shabbat morning, he was a tremendous good cook and host. He treated them very, very nicely. And they really felt Motzei Shabbat, Sunday morning, after breakfast, they really felt they got their money's worth. They really felt like that. And they're about to pay, and the Balabai says, no, it's my mitzvah. But you said it would cost $100. You said that this is what no, I'm not accepting a penny. Had I told you it would have been for free, you would have been embarrassed. You wouldn't have eaten. You would have said, you would have been concerned. Maybe you're eating too much. You wouldn't have felt as comfortable. I wanted to make sure that you feel as comfortable as possible. And therefore, and therefore I told you it costs money. It doesn't just cost 200, it costs 100, but you can eat as much as you want. So I made sure that you eat and you have the best time possible, that you maximize your stay. But Chas v'Shalom for me to say, this is my mitzvah. That's it for you.
That's
Huh?
above the net.
Sure. That's an example. A person wants to chesed for the mitzvah. Okay, the next issue in Parashat Vayera is the issue that we noticed beginning with Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, beginning with Sarah. We notice that they all have something in common. In the beginning, they're akarot, they're sterile, they can't have children. Sure. Why does this happen? There are many reasons why women don't have children right away. But the Midrash Nachuma said about the imahot. Lama yu arba imahot akarot. Why were they sterile in the beginning? So the Midrash answers like this. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Natati lahem yofi, I gave them beauty. Natati lahem osher, I gave them wealth. If I would give them children too, they would never pray to me. They would have everything. HaKadosh Baruch Hu mit'aver l'tfilatan shel tzadikim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu desires and looks forward to the prayers, especially of tzadikim. And therefore he held something back, so they should pray to him. Sure. So what does this teach us? What it shows is that many times, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will hold something back just for this purpose alone, that the person should pray. And shum afra, there's nothing else interfering. Everything is fine. HaKadosh Baruch Hu intentionally may hold something back. He wants that individual to pray to him. And if he cries his heart out, HaKadosh Baruch Hu give it to him. See, sometimes there's a problem with the mazal of a person. A person has a bad mazal. So even with a bad mazal, Israel me'ala mazal, shuvat filat tzedakah, ma'avim Torah gizara, you can change your mazal, you can cancel a bad decree. We're Am Yisrael, with divine providence. He directly can change a mazal.
But you can cancel it easier than changing it.
Yeah, of course, because that doesn't have to happen. Right, of course. Mazal is very difficult to change, but you can still change it. Now, sometimes it's not the mazal, it's just simply a person does not have enough zechuyot. And all he needs is to move to Eretz Yisrael. Sometimes the move to Eretz Yisrael alone must be sheyelo yeladim. For example, the rabbis tell us if a person lives for 10 years in Chutz La'aretz, v'lo yeladim, he did not have children, mutar lo litgaresh. He has a good reason to divorce why he wants to have children. However, if he moved to Israel, he has to start counting the 10 years again. Because it could be that b'schut Eretz Yisrael, just for that schut alone, he will have children. So sometimes all a person is lacking is only a zechut, only a particular merit. Once he gets that merit, who sends him right away. And you have seen people, after 17 years, all of a sudden, boom. What happened? Who knows? Maybe he did a mitzvah, it's very special. Maybe it was part of his mazal. We don't know why. There are various reasons. But one of the reasons that I'm talking about right now, which I have to refresh, is that something that simply holds back. It's not a problem of zechuyot or with tzaddikim. They didn't have a bad mazal necessarily. Right? It was an issue that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted them to pray to him. That was at least part of it. So the moment they prayed, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of course, listened to the praise, accepted the praise, and sent them a child.
Your wife doesn't want to go to his house.
Yeah. You know, there are...
She has kids,
Even, what do you mean, even?
If you're married...
Yeah, if you want to move there, right?
She doesn't want to move with you.
Sure. That's reason enough. It's justifiable. It's justifiable. Yeah, you're allowed to go through the divorce process. I mean, the woman cannot contest it. I mean, the husband is entitled to move to Eretz Yisrael.
Even around time?
Every time, sure.
And the wife doesn't move?
The
husband can
divorce her. Obviously, the divorce has to be, she has to agree to it. But that would be reason enough for him that he would accept that as a valid reason.
That's fine.
Sure.
Why is that?
She don't want to go.
Overpower Shalom Bayit, I don't know.
Eretz Yisrael
She should follow the husband.
Exactly.
Can
She needs to understand that part of marriage is following the husband. Ishak shira osaret son ba'ala, right? A kosher woman, a righteous woman, does the will of her husband. Now, if the husband has a silly desire of buying red carpet, right, and she thinks it's ridiculous, in that case, I would understand if she doesn't agree. You don't have to say Ratzon Ba'ala, because this is a matter of taste. And she doesn't have to agree. She doesn't have to go along. She has to feel good about it. But Eretz Yisrael, where we all belong, which is our home, in that, the woman has to understand what her role is and what her position is. Her position is that she needs to follow her husband.
Financially, it's not feasible.
Well, obviously, the husband has to make a good first point.
Well, he's not making the right decision.
Then other people have to get involved to help him out. See, maybe you're right. Maybe he's not very clear as to how how this will evolve.
You know, people who
Yeah.
get the way and they come back.
They can find, so you're right. It all depends on the circumstances. But we're talking about the idea itself. As you said, is a very special thing.
Why is it overpowering the stability of it?
Because there are certain things that the woman has to comply with in a marriage. One of them is obvious. She cannot be with another man, right? The Torah forbids that. She's an eshet ish.
Right.
Right? But shlom bayit, you can claim on that too. Will we allow for shlom bayit, something like that? Of course we will not. She's cheating. She's breaking up the trust between them, right? So there are limits to the freedom anybody has it. Despite the shlom bayit, you think, oh, so the shlom bayit, I have to do everything for you?
So what if the wife wants to throw
Same
the
thing,
husband
same
the
thing,
phone?
same thing.
No, but
Same
no,
thing. Yeah.
If the wife wants to go, the husband doesn't want to go.
Same thing. There's grounds for that. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, sure. It works both ways. Eretz Israel has a special status. Sure. Sure. That's in the halakha. It's brought down in the Shulchan Aruch.
Yes,
Sure.
Shemit Barak Shema would allow marriage to break up based on that?
No, we're talking about grounds for divorce. They don't have to go ahead with the divorce. Man, on what grounds should a person seek a divorce? You know, there's a machloket in the Gemara. The halakha is, it's not so much the halakha, it's what we follow much more. The tradition is, a person should not divorce his wife elan kematza ba'ervat davar, unless he found her doing something which is not right as far as arayot. Right, exactly. Things like that which are mamash asur me'atorah. However, there are opinions in the Gemara that even if she does not cook well, she messed up dinner, and the husband really is having a hard time with her cooking, that is grounds enough for divorce. Another opinion in the Gemara is afilu matzah achat yoter yafa minha.
Yes.
That's the most lenient one. Yeah.
Thinking about someone else.
Wait.
Even if he found someone nicer than her,
Can he do that?
he can. Now, of course. What? I don't know. Of course not. Of course not. This is only to the men. Only to the men. Now, what's the machloket? The machloket is only what's grounds for a divorce. But it doesn't mean
you have to.
that you should do it. And on the contrary, we don't encourage to do it for silly things. Right. So our minhag, it's not so much a minhag. The way we do things is we follow the stricter opinion. But obviously what that means is there's other categories too. In the there's so many difficult, obviously something went wrong. Then you do your best to make up between them. But if it is
zivug or not, if you have all this problem.
it could be not a zivug. Sure.
But it could be zivug.
Listen, it's one of the Tariq mitzvot, one of the 630 mitzvot, Zelegaresh Ta'isha. If you do not get along, if something's not working out, you have to do it through a get. But it's not one of those mitzvot that you're obligated to do. It's like shahita. You don't have to eat meat. You eat meat, you have to slaughter, according to the halakha.
If you are in the desert and you're not food and there's a chicken, can you slaughter for yourself and eat it? Even if you don't know?
You have to know how to do it.
And if you don't know?
Unless you're dying from hunger.
You are no. You are there. There's nothing.
There's nothing else, then of course you can eat anything.
What is
You
it?
can
Zabahta
eat-
ba'akhad.
Pikuach nefesh, exactly.
Now what is that? Zabahta ba'akhad.
That has to be done by shahita, with a knife according to the halachot. So if you're in an area where there's other food, you don't have to eat meat, but you want to eat meat, you have to do it according to the halakha. That's the mitzvah of shahita.
Chicken? No, anything.
No,
No, a bird.
Or whatever, a bird. Yeah. Now, okay, so that's the point with get. It's grounds. We were talking about grounds for divorce. Eretz Yisrael is grounds. The person is entitled to it. Like the example of not having children. Magielo. He has to procreate. He has to multiply. But I assure you that there have been many couples who loved each other very, very much, who even though she could not have children, the man did not divorce her. We did not force him. Even though he's metzuveh, today Bedin does not enforce this. Yes.
They adore.
Yeah, exactly. We did not.
Or she let him marry another one.
Yeah.
For 20 years,
Yeah.
She can let him
You
marry.
see, in those days when you were married more than one, it wasn't a problem.
Yeah, but
So he took another one.
Exactly, but she stayed with the first one.
Of course. These days you can take another one. Today you can't have more than one.
Paradim are not allowed?
Nobody today is allowed. Okay?
Unless you go to Yemen
Yeah.
and Jews, you marry there, and you go
Okay,
to
so anyway, so as we said before, HaKadosh Baruch Hu therefore sometimes holds back something from someone just because he is expecting his. Okay, next point in the Parashat Vayera is the problem that Sarah and Abraham are having an argument about Ishmael. What's going on? Sarah wants to throw him out of the house. Abraham wants to keep him in the house. Is he a softy, Abraham, or is there something more to their argument? There's something more to their argument. Abraham Avinu's philosophy was, keep Yitzchak in the house, even though he's not so good. I'm sorry, keep Ishmael in the house, even though he's not so good. Yitzchak yashpi'a alav. Yitzchak will be a good influence on him. He will teach him Yitzchak is a good boy. He will be all right. And what does Sarah say? No way in the world. It's the other way around. Ishmael yashpi'a al Yitzchak. Ishmael will influence Yitzchak. Now, Hashem tells us in the end that Sarah is right. What does that come to tell us? This is a very important point in Shidduchim. You have a girl and a boy going out. The girl is not very strong. She's not even a balat tshuva. She's secular, completely chilonit. The boy is religious observant. And what does he think? Ani ahzir ota b'tshuva. I will bring her back. I will make her religious. It's okay. Who says that? Maybe she will make you chiloni. 1 second. Or the other way around. She's religious and he's not. Maybe make you the other way. We don't know. Therefore, you always have to be extremely careful when one is religious and one is not. Not necessarily to jump into. Unless you notice that there is a serious kavanah on the one who's not religious to become religious. Yeah. If you notice a serious kavanah, he's in the right track, he attends classes, he's coming, that he wants to change, then there's a good chance. But if he has not demonstrated shum ratzon, and he is wishful thinking, that he will be able to, it's very dangerous, okay? It's very dangerous, okay? And because of the risks involved, we don't recommend it. Unless there's a little bit of meeting of the minds, one is one is clothes is on his waist and so forth. That is the essence of the mahloket here. And Hashem says she's right. What does that mean? That the possibility, the probability that bad will influence the good is greater than the good will influence. That isn't that what we say about one rotten apple? It's always like that. Yeah. And the same is true with friends. You have to be careful who you befriend, who you go out with, who you stay around, who your neighbors are. Yeah.
When you're going to marry a woman, take somebody a bit lower.
A bit lower than you.
In knowledge, in education, everything. Don't take somebody. She's a doctor and you are a mechanic.
Yeah, she leaves you later.
But when you look for a friend, look a friend who's high, then better than always.
Yeah. Oh, with a friend. Yeah. So that is the point, or that is the essence of the argument between Sarah and Abraham. Okay, next point. The next point we find that Hashem listens to the prayer of Ishmael. Ishmael is thrown out of the house, he's sick, and he cries out to Hashem. And Hashem listens. It says, "Vayishma Elokim el kol anar b'asher hu sham." Yeah.
Abraham asked Hashem for Ishmael because he asked. Hashem told him, "I'm going to make him a great nation."
Yeah, Hashem told him, "Don't worry, he's your son. I'm going to take care of him too."
Maybe if he didn't ask, it wouldn't happen.
No, even without asking. It's his seed, and Hashem promised that from his seed that there would be great nation. And they have the skut of milah, because of the skut of the milad, which the Arabs have, and nachizah. But it's not forever. It's finished. It's finished.
Have all this trouble.
It's finished.
What's such a
small strip of land. The skut of Ishmael in Eretz Yisrael is finished. Now, so Ishmael is thrown out of the house. He's sick. He cries out to Hashem. Hashem says, what does the Midrash say about this? Hashem, what are you listening? Why are you helping Ishmael? This same Ishmael will cause trouble to your children in the future. You're going to help him now? Hashem turns to the Malachim and says, Ma'u achshav. At this moment, Tzaddik or Rasha? Now Tzaddik. I judge a person by the situation. Remember Moshe Rabbeinu later on in Egypt, he looks here before he kills the Egyptian, right? Yeah. Ken? What does it mean he looks here and here? According to the Midrash, הוא הסתכל וראה ששום נשמה טובה יוצא ממנו. אם היה יוצא משהו טוב ממנו, הוא היה עוזב אותו. he was able to see that nothing good will come out of it. Nothing special, nothing good. Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees the future, knows the future. It's true that the future Ishmaeli will hurt the Jewish people. אבל מה עכשיו? מה עכשיו? נכון. פה זה ההפך. מה עכשיו? What is he now? You have to look at the whole picture in terms of what is he now. Now it's a bit באשר הוא שם. I judge the person by what he is now. He was about 16. He was a teenager.
Until what? You don't judge until 2021?
מהשמיים until 20.
Right.
Now, there is, however, a situation where הקדוש ברוך הוא לוקח את האדם מן העולם לפני שהוא יידרדר. Like sometimes הקדוש ברוך הוא takes, הקדוש ברוך הוא takes the neshama, the individual from this world before he becomes word. That could happen, because now Hashem sees that he's good, and rather take him while he's good before he becomes. These kind of situations do occur. So even though Hashem judges by what a person is now, nevertheless, if he sees that the future is not good, it's not. Where do we see this? By Ben Sorer. The rabbis tell us that the Torah commanding us to get rid of him, to punish him, because we know what the future will be. The future will be worse than what it is right now. So right now he's not a tzaddik either, but he will be even worse. So let's prevent that from ever happening. Let's do it. So here Yishmael is good, and in the end, by the way, Yishmael did teshuvah in the end.
Yeah, I think that's why.
Yeah, sure. When he was older, he comes together with Isaac to bury Abraham.
And they say Isaac first.
Yeah, and he let him go first. Exactly. All right, next point. The next point in Parasha Vayera is the incident of Sodom v'Amorah that we need to speak about. Sodom and Amorah, a whole chapter of Sodom and Amorah, Hashem destroys the cities. Sodom and Amorah, the whole area of Sodom and Amorah. Yeah, sure. Not too far from what do you call it? The Dead Sea. The Dead Sea area, that's the Sodom and Amorah. Close to Masada.
No, it's too far.
It's further south.
What is Eshet Lot? There is like a camp there, Sodom.
Yeah. טוב, אבל אי אפשר לדעת שם בדיוק היה סדום.
לא, יש את החורבות, יש חורבות שם.
יש שם חורבות?
יש חורבות שם.
אז באזור ההוא.
אשת לוט היא זה גוש מלח.
זה גוש של מלח.
גוש מלח, ולמטה יש מסעדה.
איך קוראים למסעדה אשת לוט?
אשת לוט.
באמת? למסעדה קוראים ככה? The restaurant is אשת לוט. Anyway, if you go to that whole area, ים המלח, לא רחוק מעין גדי? לא רחוק מעין גדי?
עין גדי זה רחוק.
יותר רחוק.
זה 20 קילומטר.
לא, 20 זה לא הרבה.
So is it before Ben?
יד ערד.
עין שקר, לא, ערד זה בכלל למעלה בערים.
כן, אז זה בין זה לזה.
לא, ערד פה, סדום פה, עין גדי פה. על החוק.
I went to עין גדי.
יש שפך עין.
Who destroys the whole area. The whole area of Sodom is destroyed. What's going on over here? In Sodom v'Amorah, what you see is the exact opposite of Abraham Avinu. Abraham Avinu symbolizes Chesed. If you read about the stories of what went on in Sodom v'Amorah, you see the exact opposite of Chesed. Wickedness and selfishness, and totally opposed to doing Chesed with guests and strangers that would come to town. Now, because they lived like that, and they justified, they believed in this, HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to destroy it. Why? Because why? There are other places in the world that were also doing terrible things. But Eretz Israel is sensitive. Sodom v'Amorah was in Eretz Israel. That's part of the problem. Sure. Sodom v'Amorah is in the land of Eretz Israel, and in the land of Eretz Israel, lo sovelet. You cannot tolerate this kind of thing. You could not tolerate this, and that is why HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to destroy it. Now, obviously, this is a very important lesson that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says here. Ki adativ leman asher yetzaveh. Hashem reveals to Abraham Avinu what he's about to do. Why? Because I know that Abraham Avinu eventually will tell his children to learn Musar Haskel from all of this. He will instruct them how to behave, how to do Chesed. So it's therefore important for me, Hashem says, to tell him what I'm about to do and to explain to him. That is when they get into a discussion of maybe there's a few tzaddikim left there. Would you destroy even if there's a few tzaddikim? What are you talking about? Probably at night, in the halom. Only Moshe Rabbeinu was only one. Like a friend.
Yeah, but even Moshe didn't see.
Nobody, because there's nothing to see. Nobody sees.
But here,
when a person passes from this world, he's able to see the Shekhinah, yeah, but not a light. It's something, something that the Shekhinah, but not a Kadosh Baruch Hu has no form or shape to see.
The point is here.
Yeah.
When the angel came, and there were two angels, and the Shekhinah was there.
Yeah.
He was talking to the Shekhinah. How do you know? There must have been a light or...
Who knows? We don't know, yeah. But anyway, yeah.
Because he realized who he was talking to.
Right. Anyway, so this is exact opposite of Chesed and HaKadosh Baruch Hu destroyed. And we saw a little bit of that also in the Torah Mabul. They stole from each other, how they treated each other. And all sorts of Pur'anyot, all sorts of natural disasters come to the world when there is no Chesed, when there is corruption. Yeah. And this was a typical example over here. Now, sometimes Hashem waits. He postpones. Ulo miyad ma'anish achel sa'atam mitmaleh, until the bucket fills up. That is what happened in the Torah Mabul. Torah Mabul zigia lasi. It was terrible, and it was not getting any better. See, unfortunately, in the Rosh Hashanah, the same thing. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, first of all, has a cheshbon aroch, a long cheshbon of what the Goyim did to the Jewish people throughout history. Hashem doesn't forget. People forget. Right? Dor olech v'dor ba. People forget what happened 50 years ago. Hashem doesn't forget. So first of all, Hashem has a long cheshbon of what they did. All the cruelty. They have to pay. Exactly. Besides this, you will notice that the Rosh Hashanah, according to the Zohar, has a lot of the Gilgulim. Gilgulim of the Dor HaMabul, the Dor HaFlaga, all these Dorot, that they were corrupt. HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings them back, and He destroys them. And that is why you will see a deterioration. You will see a deterioration in the world. You will see an increase in pornography, in immorality, right, in corruption. All over the world. And just because a person wears a tie and he's the president of the United States doesn't mean he's not corrupt. And we saw. Yeah. Anyway, so we see that this is the generation before Mashiach comes, that things deteriorate, and at the end there will be destruction. Nothing lasts forever. Now, if you look at the empires of the world, we had the Persian Empire, we had the Greeks, we had the Romans, we have many empires. Spanish, Portuguese, the English. All of them come down. All of them go. All of them are gone. All of them disappear. The only one that did not disappear is the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire broke up into several parts. Chalakim. Part of it is the United States. The rest of it is Europe. It's all the Roman Empire. And where is the center? The church. It's still the center. Sure. But the religion spread out, and that is why you have, even though you have the seat there, but you have it everywhere. In Europe, in the United States too. So if you pay attention to what's happening, you see, on the one hand, a lot of prosperity in this country. And that is because of many good things perhaps they did. But in the end is already happening right now, as of September 11, it's all going down. Unfortunately. So this place is also on its way down. And this is what Yaakov saw in the Sulam, which we'll talk about later. Angels are going up and going down. Who are those angels? The ministers, the nations. Then he says one. He sees going up and he doesn't come down. So that's Edom. Hashem says, don't worry, he's going to come down. And you know what? Him I will take down myself. But it will take longer. It's almost 2,000 years since the Roman Empire. He also comes down. Unfortunately, because we've been enjoying it here and we've been living here and it's been comfortable, but in the end, everything comes down and Malchut Shamayim, Malchut HaMashiach, is the one that will be elevated instead.
But they're going to come, and they're going to succeed in going into Eretz Yisrael?
No, they will not. But you must remember something. The reason for their failing, the reason for going down, is obvious. Look around. How much corruption there is in this country. How much immorality. And it's all sanctioned and protected by the law. It's liberty, freedom for all. To do anything you want. Anything you want, even if it's a sin. You see, that's the problem. So Hashem lo mochel.
The child cannot call the father cannot even
the child call the police
because he can call child abuse, call the police.
Exactly. Anyway, so this incident is recorded in the Parasha, not just to tell us a story, but to tell us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu lashes out. However, it doesn't happen immediately. He gives them a chance, gives them a time, like he did with the city of Nineveh. Like he did with the city of Nineveh. He sent Jonah, and Jonah gave him a warning to Barak, and you know what, at the end, they did teshuvah, and they were not destroyed.
don't think people are going to make the Mashiach come. This time.
Sorry?
No, not
Rome.
No, not that. Even if Yoshka come himself, and he told them, why is, I had a dream like this. I'm one of them. What did you do to my people?
Right.
They're killing themselves because it's all.
So you see how you have on the one hand you have the chesed of Avraham Avinu, and on the other hand you have
the opposite.
The opposite of chesed in the incident of Sodom and Gomorrah. Then you have in the middle of all of that you have Lot. Now Lot, why did he deserve to get saved?
Because of Abraham.
Only because of Avraham Avinu. That would not have been enough to save him.
No?
But
That helped him. That helped him because he had the schut of Hashem. Says, you know what? Okay, you have, like we say in Hebrew, protection.
Yeah, protection.
Right? You have the schut of Avraham Avinu, but you're living amongst them. Oile Rasha, Oile Shcheno. You have to be careful not to live amongst them because unless you're a big tzaddik, you're going to get hurt just like them. So what does Hashem do? Because you have the schut of Avraham Avinu, I'm going to give you a small list. I'm going to send you malachim. Yeah. If you treat them nice, if you do a chesed just like your uncle did, then you preserve the schut of your uncle.
Children,
you want the schut of the uncle, then you have to be like your uncle a little bit. Because that's schut will help you. Okay? You see, a schut of a father, of a grandfather, can help for many generations to come. It can help. But Hashem expects that individual should follow in the footsteps too. Say it's and the other way around. It's the opposite. For example, if the father was a Rasha and the grandfather was a Rasha, would they punish the great grandson? No, because he didn't do anything. When do they punish him for his grandfather's sins too? When he goes in the same way. Then again, you get for you and for your grandfather and for great. I get everything exactly.
But if it's the other way, you get the zechut from these parents.
Sure. So too, but as long as the zechut is almost automatic. But here there was a big problem. He's amongst the Rishonim. Right? So sometimes a tzaddik is sufficient a tzaddik just to save his life. Sometimes a tzaddik is a bigger tzaddik and he saves his life and his family's life. Sometimes he's a bigger and he saves the city. Now, let's say the tzaddik cannot save the city, he can only save himself. There are also various options. Hashem says, you know what, you can stay where you are and nothing will happen to your house. The whole city will be destroyed except for you. In order for that to happen, you need a big miracle. Right?
Very big.
Everything else is destroyed except for you. So what does Hashem do? You know what? You don't deserve that kind of big miracle. You leave town. You leave town. Let me give you an example. Which one is a bigger miracle? Somebody that missed the plane, and the plane crashed. It's a miracle. He missed it. Yeah. He missed his flight. Or he was on the airplane, it crashed, and he's alive.
That's the second one.
So which one is a bigger miracle?
The second one. No. The second one, everybody does
Who's a bigger tzaddik?
Depends if you want to show it to people.
The big tzaddik is the one who missed the plane.
Why? Well, you're right. Why?
He didn't have to. He had to go through.
Even though the miracle of the plane crashing is bigger miracle, but he suffered. The trauma, the shock, maybe injuries. Who needs that? It would better not go there, right? Sam, you see what I mean?
Yeah. You need was locked in the bathroom. He couldn't get out.
Yeah, you need tremendous zechuyot to be saved. You need from extra miracles. So therefore, Hashem, what does He do? You don't have all those zechuyot sometimes. I'm not going to even put you on this. Or I'm going to make sure that you miss it. Or I don't want you to go through the trauma for whatever reason. No, you don't deserve that kind of
thing. This is taken away from zechuyot.
Not necessarily.
No,
unless you put yourself in makom sakana. But this, if you
they say some rabbis they don't like to give a baracha or something.
Yeah,
it takes out from their own.
Not necessarily, no, because there's a time for barachot too. If you receive a baracha from someone and it's just at the right time, then it could help you.
You know this guy from the ambulance? He told you the story? He went in the taxi.
Yeah.
And he was talking to the guy. Yeah. The guy said, start crying. He said, you might say, I can't have kids. He had a shrapnel went in here.
Yeah.
And he couldn't achieve that.
Right.
So it affected him. He said, look, I'll make you better. He said to me, he has so much from his heart without knowing.
Right.
2 years later, he was passing the taxi driver stopped. Hey, you come. I said, what do you want? So you don't remember? He said, no, I don't remember you. He said, yeah, don't you make, I have a kid.
Really? You see? This is a beautiful example.
Unbelievable. He told me.
See, Al tihi birkat idiot kala
He said
beinecha.
to me,
Don't underestimate the power of the beracha even from a simple person.
I hope next year you have a kid. And he said, he couldn't have kids.
Yeah.
And he said, so now, when you see me take him away free.
Yeah?
He takes me free.
Yeah, really. It's very nice. He appreciates.
He's the rabbi.
Yeah. Very special person.
Yeah,
And you know what? This man who gave the beracha, don't think that he's a birkat idiot, because even the beracha of a simple married person can be effective. Because he does so much chesed, because he's involved in helping people, and because of what he does, that helps. That when he gives the beracha, and he gave it with all his heart.
And he put like this, good.
Yeah. Anyway, so a person has to be careful not to live in a place which lacks dominant. Because you don't know what will, you may not have the zechut. Khalil, a person may not have the zechut of getting out on time. Okay, we have two more points in Parasha Vayera that we're going to cover. The first is nisyonot. We see that Avraham Avinu goes through many tests and challenges. Right and left. All sorts of challenges. What's the purpose of the nisyon? Hashem can read one's mind. Hashem knows what's in the person's heart. Hashem knows what will happen and what he will do, how he will perform. Hashem knows. What does Hashem give for you? To show the world, you could say. There's various reasons. There's various reasons. Reason number one is if a person would not go through a challenging situation, he would be weaker. The challenge, the nisayon, makes a person strong. It builds him. He also goes up in level. You know what it is? He withstood it. He was able to, withstand the nisayon, the challenge. He passed the test. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives a person a nisayon. It's for a variety of reasons. One of the reasons is that can only happen even over the nisayon. Even though Hashem knows. So what if Hashem knows? He doesn't know if he will or not. Hashem puts him through. Where it passes it, that's reason number one. Reason number two is to show the world. Obviously, to demonstrate to the world the power of being able to withstand it, whether it's a temptation or some other challenge, some other hardship, right? And besides all of this, it demonstrates that when Avraham Avinu did whatever he didn't do it because it was by his nature. He did it because Hashem tzivah oto. Hashem commanded him. A lot of people do things on their own. So what? That's not a big deal. Here, Hashem wanted to show that he did it because he was listening. He didn't do it on his own. That is why it had to happen through a nisayon. And ultimately, when a person is challenged, it's the best time, the best way to measure how sincere he is. Like there's a saying, in time of need, we know who our friends are indeed. As bochanim, as efshad, then we know who our friends are. I'm sorry, I have no time for you. Can you lend me $100? No, I don't. But you're my friend. What kind of a friend are you?
What if really doesn't happen?
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about difficult situation, right? Money is not a good example.
No, it happened as well.
But it happens all the time.
He said, look, I have touched my...
Yeah.
Come on. And then come back. These two guys, I know them.
Sure. So the nisayon, through a challenge, you're able to test the person. You're able to test the friendship. There are many, many stories.
How far they can go for you?
How far they will go for you. Huh? What do you say?
I have good time.
And it's very rare, you should know, very rare, that a person will be willing to do anything.
Family.
Even family. Not everybody is willing to do everything for someone. Give you an example. Let's say you have a sick friend who's in the hospital and it's Shabbat. Nobody's there with him. He's by himself. And you know that he would be very happy to see someone, but it's 3-4 miles in every direction. Would you walk? It all depends how close you are. If you're very, very close to him, hopefully you wouldn't mind the walk and the little bit of pain and the tiredness and the sweating. Because you're doing it for him. You make him happy. Right? But it's very, very rare that a person should have that kind of a relationship. When rabbis tell us, K'neh lecha chaver, why did they say K'neh? Konim means a bekesef, you buy a friend with money? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Yes, the answer is even if it costs you money, even if it costs you sweat.
Sometimes we buy and do don't.
Right.
אדם שאוהב הכנסת אורחים הוא נורמל, זאת אומרת, The beginning is good for everybody.
Yeah, but you must remember something. When it comes to friendship, everything is mutual. Shlomo Melech says in Mishlei, "Kamayim hapanim lapanim ken lev ha'adam la'adam." How you feel towards a person, that other person feels exactly the same way towards you.
Yeah.
However, that does not mean that the two are capable of doing as much for each other. Some people have such a heart, they'll do anything in the world. The other person is a little bit more logical. This I'll do, this I can't do, it's too difficult. It doesn't mean he doesn't want to do. Right? Understand? So it doesn't mean that the intent that they're different. They feel the same, but one may have more intensity. We may be willing to sacrifice everything. Some people have, some people take advantage and abuse. Some people have a nature that they put whoever they love on a pedestal.
Yeah.
You know what happens to them in life? They have a lot of disappointment. Yeah, because nobody is able to reciprocate. It's a nature, so you have to be careful to be realistic. That not everybody will give you.
Because also disappointment, something that is all his life I thought it was like this.
But when it comes to Tzivuya Boreh, a person has to be willing to give everything. That is Israel. Even with your money, all your possessions.
Abraham gave his most important thing to Yitzchak,
Yeah. Anyway.
Where was Yitzchak when the mother died?
That's the next point I want to talk about. Is the Akedah.
He's not in the funeral.
Okay, the last point that we're going to talk about is the Akedah. What's the purpose of Akedah? Okay, so we just talked about Nisyonot. The Nisyonot are important. They accomplish something. They make a person grow. They challenge him. You're able to see that he's sincere, that he's for real. He can prove something. And he grows in a way that he would not have grown had he not had the Nisayon. But let's try to understand the Nisayon. Akedah doesn't make sense. Hashem promises Abraham have children. Now you bring your only child, Yitzchak, Asher Ahavta. And by the way, you should know that they both had a challenge in the Akedah. Abraham and Yitzchak. Yitzchak, for him, was also challenged. For Abraham, whose challenge was greater? The father. For the father to do it to his own son, it's very, very good. So Abraham Avinu had a tremendous challenge.
Hashem told him, I didn't tell you to kill him, I told you to bring him up.
Right, in the end.
Yeah, but
right,
he didn't
of course, he didn't say. Now, what's the purpose of this? We don't know all the cheshbonot of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but one thing is HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows the future, and he saw that Am Yisrael will go through many persecutions. Where will they have the koach, the courage, the strength to withstand all the pressures of the Inquisition? HaKadosh Baruch Hu natah, ishtil, the koach shel zerut nefesh, the koach, giving your life for what you believe in the Maaseh Akedah. And through this Maaseh, which is a tremendous good for Am Yisrael, HaKadosh Baruch Hu also implanted in the Jewish soul that koach of being willing and being able to go out to do. But why is this such a tremendous chut? A lot of Jews went up Kiddush Hashem. A lot of people are willing to give their lives. A lot of people have done tremendous things for Hashem. Why is Avraham Avinu's Maaseh stand out so much? So let me ask you, if somebody were to be told by Kadosh Baruch Hu, you have to give your life, and he knows he has to do it, would he wake up that morning depressed or very, very
depressed?
Everybody would be depressed, scared, and nervous. The Ma'ala of Avraham Avinu was that he got up bizrizut, and he did it b'simcha. He was happy about it. That is the big difference between Avraham Avinu. Not everybody would have done it b'simcha. A lot of Jews, throughout history, have done tremendous Mesirut Nefesh. But to do it bizrizut, not to doubt HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to do it b'simcha to simchat alev, that is already a whole different ma'ala. To do the mitzvot in general mitoch simcha is a bigger ma'ala. Kol sheken Mesirut Nefesh HaKadosh Hashem. During the Holocaust, there were people who had the opportunity right before they went to the so they knew they were going to die, to say vidui and to go b'simcha. Not everybody was able to do it. Not everybody was able to concentrate on this. It's a tremendous nisayon. No, they kulam kedoshim, לא צריכים לעשות בגבול. לא צריכים לעשות בגבול. Understand? So to be conscious of that this is something that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to do, that is a tremendous ma'ala. So Avraham Avinu not only did it with zrizut, he woke up in the morning, he did it mitoch simcha, recognizing this is what Hashem wants, I don't ask him. That is a tremendous ma'ala in emunah, in bitachon, in avodat Hashem.
Hashem told you got to die to go and do this. Yeah. What do you mean? You could have postponed it to 3 days and to extend his life. He did on the spot, right? With Moshe Rabbeinu. Hashem told him, go to Samaria, I'll show you the land that you're going to pass away.
Right.
And he did everything. He could have postponed.
Right. Yeah, of course. Anyway, that is the essence of the Maaseh Akedah. That is the essence of Maaseh Akedah, which is a tremendous chut for Am Yisrael. That is the shofar of Rosh Hashanah, right? By blowing the shofar, we remember the Maaseh Akedah. The shofar has various purposes, but that is one, to remember the Akedah, because there was an ayil later on, right?
Yeah.
That is slaughtered, the Qurban. And this zechut of Yitzchak lasts for all the generations down.
And Rachel.
Yeah, of course. HaKadosh Baruch Hu set the wheels. In other words, he set it going by bringing about this nisayon for us to learn from, and for us to have the strength and the power to do the same if necessary, to go al Kiddush Hashem. You know what it is for a Jew to give up his life for the mitzvot of Hashem? And what the Goyim do in throwing away their lives, that's not al Kiddush Hashem.
No.
That is because they think they're going to have 70 virgins. 72 virgins in paradise. They're doing it for that. They're not doing it for Hashem. כן, אבל הם אומרים שיהיה להם טוב, אז לכן כשהם מתאבדים, הם לא עושים את זה לשם שמיים, עושים את זה בגלל שמבטיחים להם גן עדן עם 72 בתולות. When a Jew gives his life, it's because he knows that this is the most important thing for him. Nothing is more important.
There's nothing waiting for him, women and good food and
nothing is more important than the mitzvah of Hashem.
The Arabs in the desert, water and women. I live with them.
So anyway, this is a tremendous test. Now, according to the halakha, if a Jew has an opportunity to run away or to be killed for doing mitzvah, he should run away. Why? Because life is precious. Life is precious.
Yeah.
You don't throw away your life just like that. It's a tremendous big mitzvah, Kiddush Hashem. But if you have the opportunity to run away, so you should be able to do a lot more mitzvot for the many, many more years that you're going to live. But obviously, if you have no choice, and it's one of those three averot, the three cardinal sins, you're asked to give your life, the mitzvah of Kiddush Hashem is a tremendous mitzvah. And whoever does not do it, and he loses on the mitzvah. So this mitzvah, many, many Jews had the opportunity to fulfill throughout history. And even those who are not so religious, who died at war because they're Jews, they're in a tremendous big ma'ala.
Sure.
Every Jewish soldier who fell in battle, who went to war, even if he was not so religious, because he fell for Eretz Yisrael, because he was Jewish, then he's a kadosh, he's holy. So they're all, okay? He was a Yehudi and he fell because of that. He's in a tremendous ma'ala. זה גם מסירות נפש. Sure. It's all in zechut. It's all a tremendous zechut. But it makes a difference how you go. Just like Yisurim, a person who has pain, if he receives it and accepts it mitoch ha'ava, in that pain, that Yisurim memarkim ta'avonot shelo, they clean him up very, very well. It's much more effective than if he has Yisurim and he claims about it. So the trick is, the greatest ma'ala in Yisurim is to do it mitoch simcha, mitoch ahava. That you have no question about it. It's more difficult. And that is the ma'ala of Abraham Avinu more than anybody else.
Either to go to break Yom Kippur and to drive, or not to drive.
Yeah.
To wait. So I drove and I went straight to the Galil, and I saw all my friends.
Sure.
Wait.
That's what I want to be here. I want to see it.
Yeah. After the Maaseh Akedah, that is when Hashem tells him, Ata yadati, ki ereh Elokim ata, right? Now I know. He always knew, but now he proved it.
Now it's confirmation.
Now it's a confirmation because he did one of the most difficult things to do, to take his own son. His only son. 37-year-old son.
And he waited for him 100 years.
And he did it b'zrizut mitoch simcha. That is one of the issues over here. He waited so long. He had no children. This is his only living heir, descendant. And he does it mitoch b'zrizut, and he does it mitoch simcha. That is true confirmation. So this mitzvah has a tremendous amount of power. And that power and that zechut lasts for all the generations to come.